What's up, everybody? This is Michael Mignona from Mignona.com, and today I want to talk to you about everything and exactly what we did to help this mortgage company go from zero online presence to generating real leads and making lots of money. Okay, so here's the story. The owner of the company, of this mortgage company, came to me. He had just purchased the company from a partner. But what he purchased was essentially non-existent in terms of online presence. There was no website, there was no Facebook page, there were no leads coming in digitally, from the internet at all, okay? The only thing they were doing was sending out mailers and then receiving phone calls. And that was generating enough business that they could at least get off the ground to launch properly their real business with an online presence. So they came to me and we went from nothing to what I'm going to tell you about, okay? So the first thing we did was we put together a website for them. And I'm going to do more videos on exactly what you should think about when deciding what your website should be like, because I think it's very important. It's all too common that business owners get caught up in all of these details about their website for their business that just do not matter when it comes to actually making money, generating leads, and getting new business, okay? So we put together a website for this mortgage company, and I'd say it took about 4 weeks to do, at the most, okay? In fact, if I didn't have to get it approved by the client, I could have launched it after 2 weeks, because it isn't that hard to do if you do just what is necessary to get business. The only parts of it that were not challenging, but that took a little bit of coordinating with third parties, is like implementing the software that they use to allow for online applications and things like that. So let me start by telling you what the goals were for the client. Put simply, he wanted his business to be online, to look great, and he wanted to get online applications from the website without having to talk to anyone necessarily. Obviously he's not opposed. He wasn't opposed to talking to leads, and we generate those kinds of leads, but we also generate leads that are full applications sent into him without him ever speaking to this person prior to them sending in an application. So we put together a website, and then what we needed to do, because it was a brand new website, was we needed to get him found on Google when people searched for the keywords that he wanted to attract. So he is a veteran of the Marines, okay? So he wants to carve out his niche as this veteran-owned business that really loves helping other veterans get VA mortgages, okay, or VA home loans, whenever they type into Google. So we started with identifying the keywords that people type in when they're looking for VA home loans, VA, current interest rates regarding VA home loans, the whole 9 yards. And we built out this comprehensive Google advertising program that pointed to his website. Now, on his website, it's a beautiful homepage. It's very simple in terms of it listing what loan products he offers. There are really clean and clear calls to action with regard to either applying now, or refinancing, or buying a home. And there's a page where you can opt in to get his current interest rates, which he says are the best in the industry, and also a page where you can start and complete an online application that goes directly into his software that manages all of the applications and his clients and everything. So it's really streamlined and really automated, and he is absolutely loving it. And so what is happening now is, using Google Ads, we are advertising for him, pointing the ad traffic to his website from people who are interested in exactly what he does, and they're going to his website, and we know down to the dollar how much money it costs to get a new lead. And then he also knows if those leads came from a Google ad, or if they came from someone who called in, or who filled out an application after having seen one of his mailers, or some other referral source. So we know exactly where they're coming from, so he can know down to the dollar how much it costs to get a lead from all different types of his marketing that he's doing, and we're running the Google ads for him. So the really important part of this whole thing is that he has a system in place now where he knows that when he turns on his Google ads, he's turned them on and kept them on, but when the Google ads are running, he gets leads, and he knows down to the dollar how much on average those leads cost, and they're his leads. He's not purchasing them from a third party. They're not junky leads that are shared by several different businesses. These are leads that he's generating himself with the Google ads that we run for him, and he doesn't have to share them with anybody. They're his leads. Now, they certainly could be shopping around and submitting information on different websites and different companies, but he owns that information. He gets that information from the person who's wondering what his current rates are or who fills out an application. I speak to companies all the time who are either currently working with a marketing company or who are looking to work with a marketing company. And I can't tell you how unfortunate it is. Actually, I can tell you. I'm going to tell you right now. These companies very rarely, even when they're working with a marketing company, know down to the dollar how much they're spending to get a new lead, and ultimately how much it costs to get a new paying client. But if you don't know those numbers, there's no way you can predictably make any positive decisions regarding your business and your marketing. Because if you're spending thousands of dollars a month on marketing that you have no idea how many leads it's generating, how much it costs to generate those leads, etc., then you don't know whether you should spend more or whether you should spend less or whether you shouldn't spend doing that at all. And so it's really important to have all of the tracking in place to make sure that you can know down to the dollar how much money it costs to get leads. And then the job of the marketing company, aside from just reporting that to you on however often a basis as you would like, is to optimize the campaign on a regular basis so that month over month, the cost per lead goes down. Okay, so month over month, the goal is for the marketing company, me, to tell the client, you, that last month it cost X dollars to get a lead, and this month it costs half X, or X minus 20% of what X was before. And that's a huge accomplishment. That's a huge thing to be able to report on and to be able to track. Because if, at the outset of a campaign, it might be a little bit more expensive per lead than you would like to ultimately spend, but that's okay. Because it takes a month, 2, 3, sometimes a little bit longer to start getting that cost per lead down to where you want it, so that the cost per new client is in line with how much you're looking to spend to make a huge profit, and so that your ROI is exactly where you want it to be. And there are a number of ways to track this stuff, and that's really for the marketing company to figure out. But what's important is that the client, you, have a way to log in whenever you want to look at what your numbers are up to the second or down to the second. And so what we do is we provide our clients with a dynamically updating, real-time updating dashboard that they can log into. And they can see exactly how much money they've spent in a given period of time, and you can determine that period of time, whether it's the last 30 days or just today or just yesterday or 3 months ago, how much you spend on your Google ads, if that's what we're doing for you, or your Facebook ads or Instagram, whatever, and exactly how many leads you've gotten with that ad spend, where they've come from, the demographics, the age, the location, all of this different stuff. And it's all available on your cell phone with the app that you can download to look at all of the reporting, or online to look at everything. And that's super, super important. So if you own a real estate company, or if you work for a real estate company, or you're looking, or you do mortgages and things like that, it's likely that you've thought about how awesome it would be if you could have a system that generated leads for you using digital marketing, Google, Facebook, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. But it's not easy to find someone who can do that for you at the level you need to have it done. And the level you need to have it done on is whatever level results in your being able to definitively say to yourself and to your partners that you've spent X and Y is the result, and down to the dollar. I think that's a big one. Down to the dollar, how much, what's the ROI? So that's exactly what we're doing for one of the mortgage companies we are helping. And the results are awesome and we love doing it. So so before I end the video, I want to just give you a quick thing you can do right now to know if you're getting this kind of work done for your company properly by the marketing company that's doing the work for you. Number one, you should make sure you know down to the dollar how much you're spending to get a lead. If you don't have a reporting dashboard that you can look at, I would definitely ask your marketing company to tell you how much, what those numbers are and how they arrived at those numbers. There are some really basic things that are kind of like, if you identify that they're not happening, that's a huge red flag. I just spoke to a potential client who owns a real estate company, and she told me to look at her website. And I looked at her website, and she has a marketing company doing work for her, but there were some things about the website that, from a tracking standpoint, that just were not done at all. Like, for instance, Google Analytics wasn't even installed on the website. A Facebook pixel wasn't installed on the website, so they weren't even gathering any data with regard to who was on the website, so that if they wanted to in the future advertise on Facebook properly, they couldn't even follow the people around that had been to their website. That's a huge, this is huge red flag stuff. Like, if you have a marketing company, they're not doing those two things. They don't have Google Analytics on your website and they don't have a Facebook pixel on your website, then they're likely not tracking anything, okay? Because that's how you track stuff. So check, do those two things. If you don't know how to find that out, you can always get in touch with me and I can tell you whether that stuff's on there, and I can show you if it is or if it isn't, and tell you how I arrived at that conclusion, because it's pretty easy to find out. So definitely get in touch with me if that's the case. Anyway, that's really all I've got. I hope this was helpful. The big takeaway here, aside from identifying those red flags if you have a marketing company working for you, is that it is possible to know down to the dollar how much money it is costing to get a lead. Okay, it is possible to know that. So anything less is just not what you should be a part of. You need to get with someone, work with a company who can help you and tell you down to the dollar how much it costs to get a lead. Whether you're a real estate company or any company, a roofing company, a dentist, a lawyer, you should know down to the dollar how much it costs to get a lead. So that's what I've got for you today. My name is Michael Mignona. You can find me at mignona.com, minyona.com. Call me, shoot me an email. If you want to work with me, fill out the survey that you'll see on a number of pages. It asks you some information about your business and what your goals are and things like that. The more information I have about you, the more I can help you. And but if you just want to call to talk, that's fine too. That's it. All right, have a great day, guys, and thanks for watching.